It's Tuesday, tutorial here with Stacy J. Come into my studio where I love to play. I hope that it helps you to pick up something new, to watch more, subscribing in what you do. Please subscribe, like and share, hit the notification if you care. Drop me a comment to let me know you're there. It's Stacy J Studio today.
Hi, I'm Stacy J and welcome to my studio. Today in Tuesday Tutorials I would like to talk to you about full bust adjustments, whether you need one or whether you don't need one, and I'll explain to you why you need one or why you don't need one. And I'll also show you how to do a full bust adjustment with a darted bodice. Now back to why. I'll also show you how to make and measure up and see and make you decide whether you need one or not. Now, a full bust adjustment is to go with the bust. Now, ironically, most tops or blouses or dresses are made with a B cup in mind, which is 2 inches above your upper bust measurement. And so when you go out and you buy something that is fitting your bust, you might find that everything else around it is really baggy. Now I'll show you that with an item of clothing that I have made without a full bust adjustment, where the bust now fits me really nice and comfortably. However, the rest of the garment is too big for me. So instead of just going up a size to fit your girls, the good idea, it's just hangs off you if you do things like that, because although you might need a bigger bust, it doesn't mean everywhere else on you is that big as well. Okay, so we've got to go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the shirt that is I still wear it but is too big for me now, and I will show you. As I mentioned, FBA is based on your full bust and your upper bust. Now, just because you have a larger bust, it doesn't mean that you are larger in the shoulders, in the back, in the waist, and in the hips. So jumping up just a size or two to fit your bust, it means that everything else won't fit properly. So just doing a bust adjustment on the front only can make your garments fit so much nicer. And that's what we want to achieve today. So you can get away sometimes without doing a full bust adjustment, and that's when you'll find a pattern company that doesn't just do a size B cup. So I know that Cashmere, they do, I think I pronounced that right, they do a larger bust, okay, throughout on the front, and I also know that Pattern Emporium has started doing their full bust adjustments in their patterns as well, which is great. Please, if you know of any others, drop them down in the comments. It would be fantastic to let everybody know where to go to get a full bust adjustment pre-made on their item. I know some of the clothing big fours are currently doing that, okay, and I think that is fantastic. It just sort of stops us having to do one actual alteration each time we do it. So I'm currently using the new look 6407, and I have traced out my size that I need, which we'll go through and we'll do the measurements to show you what it is and how to work out how to add or what to add to make your full bust adjustment fit you perfectly. Of course, you might just think that you can just add some room to your bust, which of course, yep, that's fine. We are going to add room to our bust here, but if you think about the size of a bust that's this big versus the size of a bust that big, that's my busters, you're going to need more fabric to go over the top of the bust, and it's not just putting the room here. So you've got to go, it's actually a longer measurement over the bust and down, okay, because what the bust does, inevitably, it pulls up the fabric. So it means that your tops will pull up. You see the drag lines that will go to the bust if the bust was bigger and that was smaller. Okay, so it's pulling not only the fabric up, but it's pulling it to the side there. Because the fabric we need to add, we also need to lengthen. So we are going to put more room. I always call them little what do I say? I said we're just going to make little pockets for our bust. And that includes adding basically fabric all the way around it. And that's easy to do. We don't make a little pocket, but we add to the fabric, which then becomes a little pocket for our bust to sit in nicely. When we go longer, we sometimes have our bust falls lower. Now, I've fed 3 children, okay, so my gravity has finally decided that it's going to it's a long time ago, it decided. So not only does our apex not sit up here anymore, our apex is actually sitting longer. So again, we're longer to our apex, and then down from there, we are bigger around our circumference, around from our front side to side. Of course, not necessarily in our back. Okay, so your back measurement will come in again with an upper bust measurement. The other things we need to consider is what undergarments we're wearing. So if you are going to make a dress for a certain occasion, make sure you're wearing the bra that you're going to wear for that occasion. It's no good putting Spanx on if you're not going to wear Spanx. So whenever my brides come to me, I say, please bring the underwear you're going to actually wear under that dress, because I need to alter it, including the underwear. And if you wear something that's letting your girls hang lower, and then you wear something that perks them up, of course, the little area where the little cuppage is going to alter fractionally. Now, I personally have the same bra in many different colors. I do need to change that up because I've now gone a little bit too small for the smallest size of those bras. Yeah, me. So that's all the things to consider. Not only are you longer all the way down because you're going over the bust versus a B cup, you are bigger going around the circumference of yourself. Your apex might drop lower, okay, and also depending on your bra, whether you're sitting up or down. So I so need to take some room out of these bras. I'm so naughty. I'm naughty. I know. Right, so those are ideas. Those are things we need to consider while planning to make our bust adjustment. If you wear the same bra all the time, as in the same style, then you should be fine. Another change up on a full bust adjustment is what style the garment is. If there's lots and lots of these, then you don't need to do a full bust adjustment. If you're wearing a floaty tunic, or you've got a very gathered area in your bust and there is a lot of ease and there isn't any lifting in it, then you won't need to do that. But if it's a fitted garment like a t-shirt, a darted top like this, or a princess seam, then most definitely you will need to organize yourself an FBA to sort it, whether bigger or smaller. Right, now to start off doing your FBA and to do the maths to what you meant to add to your FBA, the first thing we're meant to do, I'm just getting a piece of paper, is we want to take our measurements. Now, by rights, you should do your measurements each time you are going to do an FBA, because you can fluctuate, okay? And if you're trying to lose weight, then you will be slowly moving your weight from your bust and your upper bust. So it is precautional to definitely take that. Now, if you've written down your upper bust and your full bust onto a pattern piece you've already done an alteration on, and they end up being the same, then go ahead and use the same ones. But right now, we're going to get down and we're going to start measuring. Okay, so the first measurement you want to do is your high bust adjustment. I am just taking off my blouse here. And yes, I've got a red bra on. No comments, please. Unnecessary. So this is the style of bra that I wear all the time. It's just today's red. That's about it. So the first measurement we're going to take, like I said, is the high bust. And we're going to go under the arms. It's usually on an angle down, okay, and you want to make sure you're relaxed because you don't want to pull yourself in too much, because of course we're going to go by this measurement on our pattern, and we want to take that measurement, which is for me, let me have a gawk, let's go 93. Okay, and the next one we're going to do is our full bust. Okay, we go around, tape measures parallel to the floor. Okay, go around our full bust. I'm going to make sure you're relaxed and we are 99. Let's just round it up to 100 because I can. So that's our full bust. Now the next measurement you might want to do, now this depends on yourself, it's up to you, is you can do to your apex. Now remember that always depends on your bra as well. So down your shoulder to the apex of your bra. Now, apex of your bra, apex of your bust. Now my problem is that I do ride a little bit lower with my bust nowadays because of gravity. There's a song. I know there's a song. Let's go. 31 is for my apex. 31 centimeters. Now these are all in centimeters. I'm a metric girl, okay? And shoulder to apex. There's another way I actually measure that, and is that's on the actual pattern piece itself. So I sort of put the pattern piece up the top on my shoulder and then go down and go with the pencil, okay, over my nipplage. Right, so those are the three measurements we have. I've got a 93 for my high bust, 100 for my full bust, and 31 centimeters down to my apex. Now, also depending on what you're actually making, and if it's a woven, you want to take your waist measurement. Okay, so you want to find your waist. Now, I'd like to say it's just above your belly button, but mine's quite a bit above my belly button because I'm high-waisted. Okay, and now when you do it, you want to actually, if I'm doing my fitted shirt here, I want to take my measurement, then I want to sit down because it's going to expand that little bit, because when I sit down, I expand. So I'm just going to sit down on the Shay Lounge. Be back in a second. Don't miss me when I'm gone. Okay, so that is now expanded out. Okay, so I will put down expanded waist. Is 85 centimeters. That's really good if you've got a woven dress or a woven shirt like this one, and you don't want it splaying open or pulling tight. Now, if it's a stretch fabric, I don't think you have to mind so much because it will stretch a little bit, okay, especially if it's a nice four-way stretch. So if you're making a t-shirt and you're putting a full bust adjustment in a t-shirt, then the nice stretch that it might have will definitely help you along the way with that. So now that we've got those, let's do some maths. So what we're going to do, and I've already traced mine out, but because I've taken my measurements, so I could be one step ahead. So what the next step we're going to do is we're going to pick what size we are going to use for our pattern piece, our base pattern. Now, we go by our high bust because that usually works the best with your shoulders. As you can see here, this is a size 18. Fits nicely around my bust. The girls have got lots of free room to play. Okay, and my shoulder is sitting down off my shoulder. So by rights, my shoulder should be up here. That's where my shoulder should be. So I have got a little bit of room that I didn't need to have there. Okay, and that was to make my girls fit. Now, I was lazy. I didn't make the full bust adjustment for this, but c'est la vie. Nobody was in here to tell me off. And I love the shirt, so I will be wearing it. But if you notice, also over my hips is a lot of room. It's got a lot of room. And my waist has got a lot of extra room in it as well. Not that I'd want it this tight, but you see what I'm trying to say here. So it's imperative that we do find our measurements to fit our shoulders by using our high bust. My high bust was 93, and I'm going to go off the 92. Okay, so I'm going to drop down a size and by 1 centimeter, but I'm going to do the size 14, which is a 92 bust, a 71 waist, and a 97 hips, which I'm not. So my waist when I sat down was 85 because I wanted it to expand correctly. Okay, so it's not too tight when I sit down because that's not very comfortable. Right, picked our pattern. We are going to do and decide how much we need to add. Now, of course, we want to take our full bust and we want to subtract our high bust, which for me is 100 is my full bust, and my high bust, I always say upper bust, high bust is 93, which leaves me 7 centimeters. Now our garments come in two halves, whether it's attached to a centre front or is 2 with a centre front attached with buttons. So we want to then divide the 7 centimetres by 2, which makes it 3.5 centimetres. So now we've got the 3.5 centimetres that I need to add onto my FBA. I want to also look at what the garment eases that is given to this particular top, because I like to quite often stick to the ease. Now the ease is what a garment has when the designer makes it, whether the designer is making it to be part of the design of the garment, or she's making it, so I'm just tucking my singlet in, or she's making it to help the wearer wear it without it being too tight. Okay, so the ease is how much room that is given to you. There is negative ease in things like sportswear, swimwear, t-shirts, and not all t-shirts, but some t-shirts, and then you have shape in that on, like you got a corset, which is no ease because it's fitted, and then you've got your garments such as this that have ease. So my finished garment on the full bust adjustment, on the full bust garment size is 102, okay, and versus the body size, which was 92. So there is actually 4 inches, 10 centimeters of ease in that. Now, if I make my garment and add to my full bust of the garment size, now the garment is 102, now I'm going to add 3.5 centimeters to that, which would take it up to 100. So it's 102. I'm adding 3.5 to that itself. Okay, so 3.5. I'm going to do the math. 3.5 plus 102. Okay, and that is it's 105.5. Okay, now if I subtract my bust off that, which is 100, I'm only got 5.5 ease. So I can, if I want to, add to my ease that is going around my bust. So I'm quite happy to not add only 3.5 centimeters to my half. I'm going to actually bump that up to 4 centimeters, okay, which is going to give me 8. If we add 8 onto 102, which, sorry, half of 102, half of 8, which makes me up to 106 centimeters. Okay, and my bust is, my full bust is 100 centimeters. So it's given me 6 centimeters of ease. Now, there are a few different ways I work this out, and sometimes I work it out by doing the actual ease added onto it, which means that I would say that if my upper bust was 100, I need, my upper bust is 93, and my full bust is 100, and I want 10 centimeters ease. That means I want 110 centimeters around, which means I'm down 8 centimeters, which gives me, divided by 2, 4 centimeters per side that I want to add to it. That's how I would normally work it out as well. So there's 2 ways. You subtract your high bust from your full bust, then you divide it by 2, but I want the 10 centimeter ease. It is a woven shirt. I want the ease to move, so when I move my girls and I move, I'm all tucked in. Okay, so that's the 2 ways you can do it. Subtracting your upper bust from your full bust, divide that by 2, and see if you want to add more ease. Or you take your finished garment on your shirt, you subtract your so you take your full bust, you subtract your finished garment, you add the 10 centimeters to your full bust. So my full bust is 100, I add 10 centimeters making 110. I subtract the 102 of the finished garment, which gives me 8 centimeters, and I halve that by 4. Now I'm going to do some maths in the description, because I understand how that could have just gone over your head, because let me say it's pretty much gone over mine. If I was you guys, I know what I'm doing, and it's very sometimes hard to explain how I'm trying to get that bottom line. So hopefully I'm making sense. There's two ways to go about it, and the way I went about it to start with: full bust, subtract high bust, divide by 2, because it's all in one, usually always in one half, 2 halves, and then I added and wanted to add for ease. Or you take your garment finish measurements, your full bust measurements, after you've picked your pattern piece, obviously, so size 14, which was a 92. So then I got a finished garment of 102, which is 10 centimeters different from the 92. Then I subtract my 100 full bust, which leaves 8. Then I divide that by 2. Clear as mud, isn't it? Clear as mud. Right, so what I've got now is my pattern piece here. I just turn you guys here and drop you down. Okay, so we are going to work with our dart. Now, often, like I said, I'll put the body piece on me. I'm going to do it 2 ways. I'm going to go to the shoulder here and go down. What did I say my measurement was? It's 31 centimeters. 31's here. Drop it, go up 1.5 centimeters, because that's what we are. 31's there. Okay, so that's my full bust. The other way I do it, no, sorry, that's my apex. The other way I do it, classy. Okay, so I hold it up there on the side seam there, centre front there in the centre, and I get my nipple. Lovely. Okay, so that's the area in the room what we need to play with, is that particular space there. Okay, so let's take it. Now I'm going to go and get a red pen, which will be a vivid or a pink, either way, something else. Pink, and I'll get another colour in case I need it. Purple's too close, I'll get a blue. A blue. Now I did lend my son one of my grey ones, and of course that hasn't come back, has it? So what we're going to do is we're going to work with the darts here. Okay, now obviously this dart is a side dart here, and you've got a front dart here. So we're going to go up to the apex, because we want to separate it from the apex. I'm going to use my grain line, which is under this line here. It's under that line there. Okay, so I might make the grain line big and bright for you. So line it up with the grain line. Lovely. Straight up to the bust apex. I'm going to take it this side of the, here's you've got your notch. We don't want to touch the notch spacage, so we're going to go up above the notch into the armhole. And we're going to go, normally go across that way, but there is no dart that way. It's a drop dart. So by rights, our dart should move down here anyway. So I'm going to cut down here. Right. So that's what we're going to do. So the next step we're going to do, as you can see that I haven't actually cut mine out. Trusty paper scissors. Now it's a good time in this space to have your scrap fabrics, scrap paper that you're going to need, and sellotape, sticky tape, whatever you want to call it. I've called it sellotape for years. Yes, it's probably illegal that I use the word, and it's not actually sellotape. Okay, that's a brand, but a lot of years of calling it one thing, you're not going to get me to change my mind very easily. Right, now we're going to do the good old-fashioned hinges. It's a word I always forget when I'm doing it. And because this particular pattern is a 1.5 seam allowance, so I'm going to drop in 1.5 centimeters in my line here. Actually, that's not a straight line. That's 1.5 centimeters. And I'm going to do 1.5 centimeters here as well. Okay, I'm going to go get my sellotape. Now, the three things that we need to cover is the width of the bust. We're going to make a hole there, right? That's basically what we're doing, was making a hole. And because it's going over a larger amount than just a D cup, we need to add length. Now, this actually automatically happens, okay? So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to bring you closer and turn you down there. Now, what I should do is actually use a darker colour. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut straight up there and out to our little hinge. Now, at a hinge, I like to add sellotape. Just strengthens my little hinge I'm going to cut. Now, excuse that person who vacuumed and is now vacuuming who mowed the lawn and is now vacuuming their grass. Right, and I want to do a hinge here as well. Now, just before I get going, I'm going to slip this piece of paper underneath it because I will be sticking this down. So the first cut I'm going to do is take it all the way on that pink line, up to there, stop there, and hinge it there. Okay. Okay, put my little computer away. Okay, and the first thing we're going to do is going to move it up, and I'm going to put a piece of sellotape holding it right at the apex because I don't want that to move. Okay, now the next cut we're going to do is from the dart out. Now, I know it's not in the dart, but we need it to go to the apex. This is why I like to do that sellotape there, just to make sure I can move it without it. So what we're going to do is we want to add our 4 centimeters. Remember, we're adding 8 all over. Our 4 centimeters. So in here, and 4 centimeters. I've kicked you out the space, haven't I? Sorry. And 4 centimeters. Just going to stick another piece of tape down here. And 4 centimeters here, so that we can line up our lovely fine day here, and everyone knows their lawns. It was fine yesterday too. So we're going to line it up with our 4 centimeters. So that has now added 4 centimeters to our bust, but not to our shoulders. Right, so put it there. Okay, that's not 4 centimeters, that's now 4 point something or other. Let's see if I can get it on there. Oh. I love magic tape. There and there. I keep thinking it's on that. There we go, that's better. So don't look at this mark, because this mark that just took it up from where it was. It is actually sitting there. It just took up the colour. And there's the other mark there. Now if you have a look down here, you can already see that it has lengthened. Okay, and also our dart has got bigger. So what I'm going to do is, because I want the dart to go up, I'm going to cut through to here. Probably pick the wrong darts to explain on your first goes, because I don't want that dart to be there. That's not where my dart is. I'm just going to put that there because I'm going to change it up. Okay. There. Oops. Oopsies. Lucky it was stuck down. And cut that. I'll put that there. I'm such an idiot. I just sellotaped over what I was doing. So I'm going to take this out. That's what I wanted to do. Sorry guys. Snip it there. We want to bring this down to there. And of course our dart won't be going all the way to there. It will still be stopping here. But up the center of that dart, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Up the center of that dart, is now going to be the start here, and we'll bring this back to here because we've got a bust we want to put in there, like a big round hole. And we line up with that. Okay, so our dart's still there again. So that dart's got bigger. Okay, so we don't want that. We want that. Now, this coming down here, we've actually lengthened it by if I do my maths right, it should be 4 centimeters. There you go, 3.5 centimeters. So what we need to do is now parallel that along the side of the grain line. We want to move it down in line with the bottom of the pattern. Okay. We want to elongate the grain line down because this is a great way to line it up. And we're going to cut across this line here, and we need to move it down 3 centimeters. We've added 3 centimeters into this. Cut nicely across there where it's nice and straight. So we'll take that down. So we've added 3 centimeters to go over that extra length that we have in our full bust. Okay, do my lovely little lines. We can line it up nicely with our grain line. Make sure you put it the right way around. Line up there. Oh, sorry. You want to go down 3 centimeters. Down in line with that, in line with that. Okay, I can't answer Anna, sorry love, I am just trying to sellotape this up. Okay, sorry, I had to take that phone call. So basically what we've got now is a lengthened, we've got 4 centimeters added to what will be both sides. Okay, now the other thing we have is we have a bit of a gap going on here. Also, I've got extra width added to my waist and my hips, which I don't really want it added to there. So there are 2 things that we could possibly do to change that. And one of them is by moving this back into here, so it matches up and it allows that full bust to go on there, but it is subtracting it from here. The other thing to do is to take the centimeters out, like 4 centimeters out here, but as the body is shaped here, the chances are that we shouldn't possibly do that because we have to reshape it all back. So you want to sort of come in and take it back down there. So my idea of what I would like to do is I would like to take this piece of paper and cut it and tilt it back into there. So it sits there like that, so it is not adding to this particular thing. The other thing you can do is you can add it to your actual, you could do 2 centimeters each side of this dart here. Okay, and that will subtract your actual 2 centimeters, your 4 centimeters off that side. And actually this is how I'm going to do it for this, because I've got a dart, why not use it, right? And I'm just going to go from the dart and find the nicest, straightest way, and I'm going to use that dart as best as I can use that dart. Okay, I don't want to take any width off it. Right, now the other problem we possibly have is the fact that this dart should be under the apex. So we want to possibly transfer this entire thing over to here. So it is still that distance away from the grain line, but here's our apex. Okay, so we could take this here, trace it out, okay, and we will just do our nice little shapely shape. I know it's not stuck down. We'll go around a nice, if you're bigger in the bust, a nice curved dart is actually more flattering. It's like our bodies are curved, so don't make things straight. And we're going to come over, roll it over. It's been that piece of paper that's sticking to the ruler. Over on this side. And up the top there. So if we line up our darts, because I like the way of that apex, and we line it up with our grain line, okay, we'll use those two there. We pop this down, those two darts there, okay. That's in line with that, that's in line with that, that's in line with that. And then we can trace that around to match the body there, and that can stay there. Seems crass? Well, you know what? I am being very crass with how I'm doing this. But that has moved our dart under our apex again. And it's going to sit there nicely. Okay, so I will actually this is why we have lots and lots of scrap papers. Okay, so that lines up beautifully now. And what we don't want to do, of course, is do both of them. So you stick your trusty pen and get rid of that. Right, so once you've done that, you've got your dart built there, okay, in line with your apex. You've got your dart under your apex. Okay, so once you have done all of that, okay, I'm going to just put this down. I've just had somebody come in and they have just left, so it's a few hours since I last spoke to you. So the next step is you've got your full bust adjustment done. I've moved my dart to under my apex here. Got this dart coming up here. It's going to give me girth around here, this little 0 in bit. Now my next stage is what I would do is I'd get another sheet of paper and I'd actually retrace it out, because there's something under here. Hang on. A pin. So what I would do next is I would trace that all out again around it, I make sure that that's actually taken quite nicely, that armhole, because your armhole will change a little bit because it's overlapping there, giving the girth for your bust. There's your dart, and I've made it wider down the bottom, if you remember, because I have had that side, so that will come right in nice and neatly and take it in again from there. So that is the full bust adjustment. Okay, hopefully that was as clear as mud. Well, hopefully it was crystal. And I hope you can work with that. Let me know if you have any questions and I will answer them the bestest I can. In the meantime, stay well, stay warm, stay dry, keep cool, keep on sewing, hydrate, which actually for the last couple of hours I haven't, and have no regrets. See you guys later.
Subscribe, like, and share, just to let me know that you care.